welcome guys. Presenting a new episode wherein we will be having some of the cricketing stories, cricketing stats to be discussed. And first up, we are going to start discussing about the fresh new retirement on the table. That is Cheteshwar Pujara, one of our last OGs that were remaining in the retirement arena. And with the closure of Cheteshwar Pujara in Test cricket, I think our OG lists come to an end, and an era, for that matter of fact, come to an end. I have my fellow friends with me, Shubhradeep and Ritom, and we would be discussing a little bit about Pujara in red ball, and would be looking back into his illustrious career there. So going ahead with Shubhro. So Shubhro, your points about
Well,
Cheteshwar.
obviously, whenever Pujara's name comes, one thing that always comes is number three. This number three, when he came to a team late 2010s in Australia, Test matches, it was about filling the huge shoes of Rahul Dravid, and then he actually has done well. I think he wasn't as consistent as Rahul Dravid, or many expected him to go, but he did a pretty good job. I mean, since his debut, at number three, he has scored the second highest score for any country in a Test matches. I think he's just behind Ken Williamson. If you see the entire list of overall runs, he's at the 8th position, which is just over Dilip Vengsarkar and just be under Saurav Ganguly, the former captain. So yeah, this is a cool record to have. Obviously, at number three, you always want to have someone who will make sure that you face so many deliveries, so that it becomes really easy for the middle overs to follow, and it becomes easy for them to face the old deliveries with no much shine in. And since Pujara's debut, I mean, he has played the second most deliveries after Joe Root. Even if you see that period when it was the golden period of Indian cricket, 2015 to 2020, when abroad or home they owned so many Test matches, and that was the part where Pujara contributed a lot. I think again at the same position of time, he was just behind Williamson with the second most runs at number three in Test matches, and the second most deliveries he has faced since in the period in Test matches after Joe Root. So it's incredible. I mean, the one knock that always comes to me or comes to my mind is the one he scored against Sri Lanka, 145 opening the batting 2017. He was making a comeback in the team, and the weather in Sri Lanka is absolutely wet. It's humid to bat through, and obviously they were struggling in a lot of situations. Handle the position was excellent, and also the fact that the BGT, the 2018-2019 BGT, we talk about the bowling, talk about Bumrah, talk about Virat captaincy. One thing that always gets kind of unnoticed is Pujara's contribution. Started with the centuries and everything, but the ones that always comes to my mind is the number of balls he faced: 1,258 deliveries in the series. It is the fourth most for an Indian batter in a series, and to do it against Australia down under, and the fact that they haven't won any series before that was excellent. If you look at the Gawa game where he faced 211 deliveries for 56 runs, excellent. So these are some of the records that he will look back and take a lot of pride in. Obviously, he has retired from international cricket, and he makes himself available for Ranji Trophy next season. This is the upcoming season, 2 months later, for Saurashtra. So yeah, it will be interesting to see how he goes in this business. But yeah, that's Pujara for me in Test matches for India.
Yeah. So I think, as you said, that he was succeeding Rahul Dravid in the cricketing arena, and he also took up his title of the Wall. I think he was the wall that we saw in terms of Indian cricket for sure. And when it came to gulping those balls in the middle overs, I think nobody better than Cheteshwar Pujara. On that note, I would be now moving forward to my fellow friend Ritom, and would be trying to know from him his favorite moments of Cheteshwar Pujara on field. Ritom, there you go.
Thank you, Abhishek, for introducing me. Well, I want to say that after the retirement of Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, the stalwarts of Indian cricket, it was quite inevitable for Cheteshwar Pujara and Ajinkya Rahane to retire from the from this format of the game. Of course, there are some players who are known for only one format of the game, and Cheteshwar Pujara is one among them. I mean, we know SKY for T20 cricket. We know maybe some other players, Rohit Sharma and these players, for majorly because of ODIs, but of course they are also good in other formats. But Pujara always focused on only one format of the game, that is called the purest form of the game, the Test cricket. Of course, he has left behind a great legacy, to be very honest. And of course, players who are from the upcoming generation should look up to Cheteshwar Pujara for inspiration. Of course, as Shubhadeep has said, he had to fit in the big shoes of Rahul Dravid, the great Indian world, as people used to say him. And I think Pujara has done justice to the expectations. Of course, in the latter part of his career, he was not very consistent as he was expected to be. But then again, what he has done cannot be overlooked. Scoring over 7,000 runs with an average of 43 or 44 is incredible, to be very honest. And more important part is that we cannot look into the numbers only. We have to say the situations. The number of matches that Pujara has won or contributed in the victories of India, I think is immense. That speaks volume for the legacy of Cheteshwar Pujara. On that note, of course, if I have to say, the most famous series or the most favorite series of mine, where Cheteshwar Pujara actually stamped his authority, was 2018 BGT, where he scored 500 plus runs at an average of 74 or something like that. We all talk about Virat Kohli and his captaincy, the bowling area of India in that series, but we don't speak enough of Cheteshwar Pujara. Without Cheteshwar Pujara, India would have never won that series, or that would have been a very difficult series to win for India. But Cheteshwar Pujara ensured the victory of India, and India ultimately won a series in Australia, a Test series in Australia. Of course, then again in 2021 BGT, when Virat Kohli had already left and when Ajinkya Rahane was leading a very new side, Pujara played a huge role, I would say. He didn't score as many runs as he did in 2018, but of course, the way he played, especially in the Sydney Test, the balls that he faced and all the bruises, all the endurance that he showed, can be something to be written in golden words in the history of Test cricket. People should look these things, take inspiration from these things and learn. That doesn't only teach you about cricket, of course, that teach you about life, how to stand against the odds and make sure that your team or you yourself cross the line of victory. That's what I want to say. I want to thank Pujara. Thank you, Pujara, for all the memories. My all the childhood and adolescence was with you, was with the golden trio of Virat Kohli, Cheteshwar Pujara and Ajinkya Rahane. The childhood is finally gone. The adolescence is finally gone, I must say.
True that. So, if I can also put in my moment of Cheteshwar Pujara, the terror, because he's usually that calm and composed guy therein, and he wouldn't mess up with the opposition like a Virat Kohli that we would usually see. But he would just be the guy who would hang around there, time after time, second after second, hour after hour. That frustrates the Josh Hazelwoods of the game like anything, and that is the reason he would go in the dressing room. And that moment for me in the BJT just stands out, wherein Josh Hazelwood is frustrated of Cheteshwar Pujara, and he claims that again the next day I have to go and I have to see his face, and again I have to bowl to that guy. He just doesn't get some. So that's the terror that he had been able to impose in one of the finest side of the cricketing world, which is Australia. With that, we come to an end over our discussion on Cheteshwar Pujara. Keep being connected with us. We will be coming up with new stories of the cricketing world in our next episodes. Thank you.